What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday, day.
That was more enthused.
What is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Patreon the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
And man, I said that I feel like I never say it that early, but you guys got it that early. Man. So to start off here, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed last week's episode. We did kind of like a chill sit back episode where we played this intimacy card game, and it's more of like just to get to know us. We've been doing this for what is going to be close to 2 years.
Yeah, in like March,
yeah.
I think.
So for anyone that's new and listening, want to get a better idea of us, all that stuff, you go to the episode. And I don't know, we like doing it like periodically just to have a chill episode where we're not talking about the craziness that's happening in the world with everything happening.
We hope it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And we weren't sponsored. We realized after the fact that it may look that way, but we're definitely not. We got it off Amazon months ago.
Yeah, we're too broke to be sponsored.
We'll get there. Positive vibes.
I do want to say, I realized last week that we had a review on our podcast, and I completely forgot to shout them out.
Woohoo.
So we're going to take a moment to shout them out there.
Yeah, so Lux, you said great shows. Nice, easy to listen to podcasts. They are a great couple with excellent rapport. The relationship tips are real life and refreshing to hear. Highly recommend. And that was on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. So thank you very much. We have 16 ratings so far completely that we've gotten, so thank you. It really helps us. We've gotten 3 this year, so let's make it to 5 by the end of the year. That's our goal.
Now, I will say, guys, we are testing out a new mic because, of course, our mic has happened to like crack and have an issue literally in the intro of this podcast. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, so basically, this is actually a microphone that I had to get for projects that I'm working on in my business. And literally, I got it this week. So it's kind of weird. It's like divine intervention.
It is the Blue Yeti X.
It's a very fancy mic.
I like this.
So we're sharing it right now instead of one each.
I actually like this.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. The only issue is
I'm just gonna turn the volume down.
Yeah, it's not gonna change it.
Oh. We're playing around.
It's not gonna I'm gonna have to reduce it like that.
Hello.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best that we got.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna get into this episode here, guys. Let me see. So I know we tried skipping over the politics and everything, but I think with this episode, we're going to hop right back into the politics. I want to talk about this here. You probably don't want to talk about it. So I want to talk about Trump possibly creating his own news platform. And this is a rumor, of course, but there's news that he plans on becoming like that far-right not CNN, Fox News. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I guess I could see it coming. Like, I could see him doing it that way, but I don't know if he'll actually take the plunge and do it fully.
I mean, he's a celebrity in chief. He's going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, his ego would definitely point in that direction.
See, my worry is, so when the news came out that Joe Biden is essentially going to win this, you can recount all the votes, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everyone was coming out and saying like, "Oh man, like the looters, at least we don't loot and kill and burn things and all that stuff." But the extremism of people that support Trump, like, sure, the looters and stuff, they're bad. They steal from businesses. But the Trump supporters, they're more so down to just take a life. Mm-hmm. So here we go, a toxic person that these people see this man as their, like, God and savior. You saw people worshiping in front of buildings of the with accounting, like, votes for this guy.
Right.
Like, it's just, it just makes things nasty. And we're going to talk about this in a bit. This whole like change from people going from Twitter to Facebook, and because they don't like the whole censorship that's happening.
Yep.
And that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't think we need another form of media news out there. I think we have so many different news channels now, and they all have their obviously like own agenda. And, you know, it's a lot. I feel like we already have so many that are either one way or the other. And I don't know. So I don't think we need it. But I think, yes, again, like with his ego, he would probably want to, especially if, if he's not president now and he's even saying how he wants to run again in 2024. I mean, this isn't the end for him. He's gonna fight until the end kind of thing. Just for the principle of it. You know what I mean? Like he's just going to do it just to do it.
But my issue is it's so nasty. Like,
yep.
I'm not the biggest fan of donating to like campaigns and stuff like that. Like I have to really be moved by that person for me to do it, and I've never done it in my life. Tempted.
And also know they're going to do it. Like they're going to use it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
These people that are donating right now, I don't trust he would use it for what they think he's going to.
He's telling them what he's using it for. Yeah. So if this guy is so rich, why is he calling all these people for these donations for him to go, file more lawsuits that are going to get thrown away?
And I'm like, we are in a crazy year. We're in the year of a pandemic when 40 million people were unemployed at one point. Why are we donating to that? Why? I'm like, I honestly, even if, okay, so it's like, sure, I voted for Biden, but if he was begging for this, I don't know that I would donate to that. It doesn't feel right. I'm like, you're the president. Don't you have resources? You're asking me, who needed help and didn't receive help, genuinely?
Still didn't.
Yeah, and like, what? I don't get it. Aren't you supposed to have the most resources in the world?
And here's the next thing. I hate to harp on it, but so because
you will.
Yeah. So Trump lost, and supposedly he's trying to do everything in his power to like mess up Joe Biden's success as he, starts his new job.
I mean, that's not surprising. He's bitter about it.
Why?
It's very interesting because we saw there's all these videos coming up, of course, resurfacing now about how every like president in the past has conceded. Is it conceded? Is that the word? Yeah. To the incoming president, and how they've done it graciously, no matter what they believe or not believe the same as that person, all that. We even saw in 2016 Obama's speech about how he wanted to have a meeting with Trump to make sure that everything's being handed over right. He's going to succeed. And I mean, he didn't believe in Trump. He didn't want this for the country, but he's still like, there's like pictures and videos still of that meeting they had. And I'm like, that's how you do it. It's kind of like jobs, like regular jobs for regular people. Like if say you're a manager somewhere and you have to step down. Yeah, you may be salty, but you have to still help the incoming manager because now they're going to have control of the store or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's a common thing. And that's what shows professionalism versus not, because it's the same thing as if, you give your 2 weeks and you're respectful and you are, trying to leave the proper way so that you get a referral and you can go on to your next job, right? And all that, versus if you just stop coming. I mean, there's, a few ways to do something, and sometimes one will work out better than the other. And I think obviously if you are trying to give over the job of this importance to someone, do it right. Yeah, you can be upset, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to happen.
And that thing you were saying with Obama and Trump, I saw a quick clip of it, and he was telling Trump, saying, I don't know how to like say exactly what he was saying, but it was essentially like, he wants to help him the best way he can, because if Trump succeeds, America succeeds. And I'm like, dog, Here goes the guy just being a bigger person. Yeah, he may not like Trump for what he says or what he had. Trump, we remember those whole 8 years of Trump constantly getting on Obama, saying, "Yo, you take more golfing trips more than working on America."
Yep.
When now in the past 4 years, he has succeeded what Obama has done with these golfing trips and spent more money that we're paying for him to do it. Like, but no one wants to talk about all this stuff. Like, oh my God, Trump's doing so many great things. And when I ask my friends and ask these people what has he done, they don't have anything.
Yep.
And I don't. It's like the major. If this is what people feel like, and they feel like this guy's done so many great things, how come you can't prove it? And then also the next thing is like, do you get swindled when you go to car dealerships? Like, do they just rob you blind because you go along with it? And you're like, okay, I like it. Let's go. Let's sign up on this new car.
Don't even try, what is it, negotiating?
Yeah. They're like, well, we can't negotiate. It's a nice car. Someone's bound to get it come tomorrow. Like, they're like, well, I guess so. I might as well get it. Like, is half the America just the... What?
I don't know, just the way you're explaining it. You're so flustered.
It's stressful.
Are they just meh?
It's stressful. Because you imagine, like, half... Well, you don't know half of America, I should say, but, like, half the people that voted for this guy...
Yeah.
I'm just worried that he gets his own news network, and the divide that has happened over these last 4 years is going to widen, and we are not going to like each other, and it's leaving us open for, let's say, I'm not a conspiracy person, but I kind of feel it leaves us open for a country to come in, like, I guess China or Russia or something, and be like, yo, they're divided. Let's go take over America.
I mean, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because, yeah, that's what conspiracy theories say. I mean, it's kind of scary how this can go.
Like, they don't
this
like
is
each other.
part of the, I believe, like, this is part of the agenda. And people are saying, like, this is a key reason that the virus happened, because then it all kind of led to the beginning of us really dividing against each other. I mean, you talk about masks and vaccines and all that, and then you bring in race and all of the stuff that happened this year. I mean, this year alone, we see how much people became divided in a little amount of time.
See, and here's the thing.
It's scary.
I say this to, like, everyone that supports Trump or whatever, or even people that don't. Trump would have won if he would have addressed two things that happened this year. Corona, like, not passing the buck off to the governors, but actually being a leader. Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when the race issues happened in, like, June, like, acknowledging it. Even give me lip service that says you're going to work on it. And you may not. I don't know. But just give me something to know that, yo, you care. You see people hurting. We're going to do our best to figure this out and see how we can help.
Well, it's funny you bring up the race wars again, because so today is Saturday the 14th, and this is apparently when the Million MAGA March or whatever is taking place in DC, and apparently all of the capitals, so possibly possibly Hartford for us, is where, like, the Proud Boys are going to be out. And literally, like, people were saying, if you are a person of color, stay away, because they will not hold back this time.
The heck?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
The heck?
I thought you knew about that.
No?
Yeah. So they're saying, like, if you're a person of color, don't risk your life. It's not, because this isn't like before where you can go and just stand up and be like, I'm here. They may actually try to kill you this time. And it's terrifying to think of. To promote the march, which is funny. You want to know something? They used a picture from a Martin Luther King speech to show it. They were trying to show how many people would show up. And the irony is that they used that photo.
Yo,
I totally thought you knew this. Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to say something super controversial, but who cares? So back in the days, I learned this recently from a Vice video a week ago or so. But in like the 20s, 30 something or 60, I don't know. Before I was born, they dropped a bomb on this block of black families' homes in New Jersey, I believe. Let's go do that right now in DC.
Oh my god, don't say that.
Stop,
yeah, that's way too controversial. The FBI's listening. They're going to be like, I
mean, I don't have any control over that. I'm just saying.
No, you know what I also heard, if you want to talk in that regard? Mm-hmm. Apparently people have a conspiracy theory, and I don't know if this is accurate or not. Apparently a lot of Instant Pots have been bought recently, pressure cookers. And apparently on Google, a common search recently is how to make a pressure cooker bomb. And again, I don't know how accurate this is, but does that have to do with anything? I don't know.
This is why I stay the F home.
Well, and that's exactly, no, that was what I was exactly saying, because the problem is this isn't like the marches in June where you should show up and you should stand in solidarity and you should have your voice heard, because this could actually be dangerous today. That's what people are worried about.
Stay the F home, man.
So like whatever, I've just heard that it could be potentially be capitals throughout the United States along with DC. I have no idea if anything's happening in Hartford, to be quite honest.
Stuff is happening in DC. I see that.
Right. I don't know about us in Hartford, but
I don't know about that.
Yeah, because we're smaller. But
there'll be a group of people.
I bet down south would be more poppin'.
Well, again, we're a blue state, for lack of better words.
Right.
Right. Even when I didn't say this on the podcast, but even when we're faced with a governor that says, yo, we're going to have tolls in our small little state, people are like, yeah, tolls. Let's vote for this guy.
What?
I'm talking about in 2018 when we had a governor.
Oh.
And this guy was clearly about tolls.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully nothing happens. That's the hope, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing I want to talk about is this Parler app that came out of nowhere following the election results, and Twitter and Facebook, I guess, censoring people and people being mad about it. I want to get your thoughts. I joined the site, but I only joined the site to combat misinformation on that platform. So occasionally I'll go on the website and I saw someone saying oh, if I ask my iPhone, hey Siri, who's the president? And they're like, someone was like, oh, it says Kamala Harris. And
Kamala.
Same thing.
My goodness, it's gonna be 4 years of that.
8 years. Tomato.
I see you.
I do it, and I'm no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And I replied back to this message the person put up on Parler. And I'm like, this is fake news. It says President Trump. And I have a fake name and everything. And so many people liked it and agreed with me. I'm like, this is funny.
No, that's funny because I have a friend who, with the Parler app, I first found out because they are very obviously against what was happening with all Facebook and everything after the election. And there was this group on Facebook that you could join, when you're RSVPing to something. And it was about, oh, we're all going to leave Facebook on the 13th and we're going to go to Parler. The 13th's come and gone. I don't think a lot of people left Facebook. I'm just saying. But the whole Parler thing, I saw it a few times throughout the week. I have a bunch of women on my friend list who are probably 20, 30 years older than me. So they were more of what is this Parler thing? They weren't it wasn't woo, let's go. And so I saw people saying that. And then I saw other people saying, you'll never catch me joining that, because obviously they're more on the side we are. Mm-hmm. I think, you were saying earlier, it doesn't make much sense because it's all one way on that app. And I feel part of the beauty of social media was because you brought together everybody. It was a form of being social online. It was a form of...
It's for everyone.
Yeah, it's like if you have a group, just a group of people that you randomly smosh together, and here we all are, but online. That's what it's meant to be.
Parler is literally a group for a certain type of people, and that's it.
And I feel like, not for nothing, this is kind of like segregating. This is kind of going backwards, and they see it as progression because, we can have our voices heard, but your voices are not being heard. They're only being justified by other similar voices.
And it brings out extreme people.
Right, and it's not helping what you think it's helping, because now you're not getting the message across to other people.
You're not having conversations with other people.
Right. You're just, it's the whole, it's my way or the highway kind of thing. And I'm like, where are you going to go with that? And this is where I'm saying that this year, this divide, it's gotten scary. We've never seen it this polar opposites, I feel like, in our lifetime. Because before this, obviously, before our lifetime, there was a lot of segregation, a lot of things happened. But now... I mean, the division.
This is different from segregation. It's just it's a social divide, is what I would call it.
Right.
Segregation is.
But it's all one group grouping themselves together because they will not. They don't want to see or understand the other people. It's the same idea. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Sure, they're not segregating the other group, but they're doing it to themselves. Therefore. They don't have to deal with the others.
And here's what's going to happen. So the next shooting that happens or something like that, and they could find out this person had a Parler account and he was saying crazy things, the app is going to get rules and restrictions.
Yep. It's not going to be a free-for-all like everyone thinks, because at the end of the day, anything online can have rules. You're on somebody else's platform. And
what's going to happen is I can totally see that. So when the next shooting happens, they find out this guy was a crazy person saying a bunch of stuff on Parler, all that stuff. Apple's going to take down the app. It's going to not be available on on Android if it is. No one wants that energy, so it's going to be taken down. And then depending on whoever hosts Parler, maybe their host may not want to host that website any longer.
Yep.
It just becomes, it goes downhill.
Yep.
Why don't people understand that if you're on the wrong side of history, nobody wants that or your negative self? That's essentially what it is. Come in here loving and accepting everyone, and we'll take you. But you come in here and you don't like a group of people, you don't like this person, that's not how it works. Parler would have worked, maybe, I'll say, Trump's messaging would have been more effective 20 years ago and everything. Mm-hmm. But I feel like because of the internet and how everyone's connected and we all like to treat everyone equal.
And we've come too far because, for example, 20 years ago, gay marriage was not legal. Mm-hmm. And 20 years ago, you could argue interracial was still kind of questionable. Mm-hmm. And all these things, we've come too far for his messaging to be acceptable. That's the problem. 20 years ago, people would have been it would have been less polar opposite sides because everyone would have kind of been sort of in the middle. Abortion would still be a heated topic at that point. But all this other stuff, people would be like, yeah, why are we letting the gays get married? And it just, that's,
yeah,
it's different now. We've come in the last, even the last decade, we've just come too far. For example, Biden was the first president-elect to ever include transgender people in a speech.
Oh.
The first to ever outright say that.
Yo, when he gave his speech that day, last weekend, essentially?
Yeah.
Yo, when he slammed that podium and he was like, African American, I'm like, yo,
he was getting into it. Yeah, and obviously he included all ethnicities, everything. So that's how far we've come.
And I believe Joe Biden when he's his team will be a a diverse group of people. So he's gonna have
We're
women
already
of different
seeing it.
races and everything.
We're already seeing it. We can already see who he's like appointing
with
for
his
different.
coronavirus, task force. Like there's even a black woman from Yale.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that's dope.
Yep. Yep. And it won't, when you talk about transgender, it won't be a question of, oh, will they be able to like perform their job adequately or something stupid like that.
And I hated so much that Trump he got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I believe, sometime in like the beginning of his presidency.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Like, people are supposed to feel safe serving the country. Like, no matter what.
As it is, they don't feel safe because they're risking their life every day.
And on top of it,
like,
the women don't feel safe there with everything that happens.
Ooh.
Like,
yeah, the sexual harassment and assault is really sad.
Was it a pod? I'm not to go on a slight tangent. I saw like some YouTube video or something where they were saying how like, when you're in the military, you're playing this like high school game of like, you can't be talking to this guy because they think you're sleeping with him. You can't be around a group of guys because they think you're sleeping with all of them. You can't, like, it's so childish for us to be adults because these people are in their like 20s.
Right. And don't get me started. If we had a rough day and you dare to hug another guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's pathetic. That's a very sad world to live in, that it's like, because we already have the kind of toxic masculinity framework in our country of like, oh, you can't, like, if you hug them too long or if you kiss them on the cheek or if whatever, though that must mean, you're gay. But I mean, that's ridiculous. It should be just the same. This is something I never understood. It should be seen exactly the same way as when girls and women hug each other or kiss each other or, just console in each other because they had a terrible day or whatever it was. It's ridiculous. We're all humans. We have emotions and terrible days and frustrations. And it's like, come on. We could use a little more love, a little more compassion in this world. And it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Don't make it a thing.
Yeah.
Man, this kind of went sideways from Parler, but I mean, it's worth saying.
I will say the people that get butthurt of the censorship that is happening, they're not doing anything that they're cracking down on it even more because over the last 4 years with all the lies that Trump has said and the misinformation that is out here, dog, for example, I know you don't follow it that much, but like the Cubans in Florida, because I know one of my friends that are Cubans from like high school, and it's so interesting seeing his posts because he's on like, I guess, our side, to put it simply, and it's just wild because like every now and then I'll see on posts saying what is it, like how like Puerto Ricans or Cubans like to equate themselves to be white, but you're just the same as a black person. You're not seen as equal, even though you guys like to be like, yo, I'm better. I'm better than like a Dominican person that's darker skin or Spanish. Like, yeah.
Well, not for nothing, because it reminds me, I feel like what happens is it's like a lightest to darkest scale. It's like there's levels almost. And it's sad. So, yeah, it's almost like they're in the middle rather than all the way down.
And
terrible.
What's crazy is, you know how many like platforms Trump has like birthed in the past 4 years of just people that like push a certain narrative that Trump is like, when Trump says something, people are like, okay, let me run with this. Trump says he does so much for black people. All his platforms, Candace Owens, the Hodge twins, all the other right-winged personalities out there, Stephen Chowder, like all these people, Alex Jones, they're all, they push a narrative, and you don't see that for people, I guess, I hate this term. I hate these terms right and left.
Right. Well, I hate that we even have to say sides. Like, I'm on your side or this person isn't on our side. I hate that that's even a thing because it does. It feels so just polarizing. It feels so ew. Like, I don't like that because that is then why we're supposed to be one united country. And it's like, that's not it.
I hate it. Whenever I tune into something, like, it's really when you're dealing with people that support Trump. I swear, they're always like these liberals or these snowflakes, and this. I'm like, why do we do this name calling?
The excuse me, the libtard phrase is so offensive. It's terrible because you know that it's taken from the R word, and that's clearly something we do not say anymore. It is clearly an insult and a very derogatory remark against people who have, disabilities and all that. And so of course they took that kind of phrase and are using it as a weapon. Yeah. And I think that's so terrible. Where's that going to get you? That's not going to get anybody to listen to you.
Yep, because as soon as I see that, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to hear click. All right, so enough of this censorship stuff. Man, we're all about not having politics last week, and here we are with the episode with politics.
I mean, it was bound to happen, but at least it was nice to get the break, So
to skip away from the politics talk, I want to talk about what are your 2021 predictions. Like, how do you see the world going into the new year?
Oh, God. Well, I don't know. Because I follow conspiracy theories, it doesn't look great. There's actually a lot of conspiracy theories that point in the direction that Biden is actually going to be too controlling, and this is going to be kind of the start of a new kind of world. And the one main thing I'm worried about is mandatory vaccines, because obviously, like, we've had the discussion on here about pro-vax and anti-vax before. And I lean more on the anti side. I don't completely not believe in them, but I also don't want to be forced into one, especially one that is very newly developed and we don't know any of the repercussions of. And a lot of people have had that discussion with me. It's just it feels too soon, and if being forced is just not the way of America. Like that's the thing, is it's kind of worrisome. So there's that. I mean, masks, I don't really care. It's fine. Lockdown, I kind of go both ways on, because yes, maybe we need it for a little bit, but also I'm kind of scared that if we go into one, if it lasts too long and then they can take control and stuff. Like, there is a worry of which way is this going to go, And so I think in 2021, someone had said, what if 2020 was the preview for 2021, like the trailer? And I'm like, oh God, that's terrifying to think of, that it could get even worse. But ultimately, I mean, I'm a little anxious, because obviously I'm in a really slow season for my business right now. And I'm extremely anxious to see what happens in the spring for weddings and then going forward. And all that, because to be quite honest, I don't really know many businesses that can survive a whole other year of this, especially if it's full lockdown or all of that stuff and like all these crazy restrictions. I mean, there's going to be we have not seen anything yet. There's going to be a whole lot of businesses that do not survive, and that's really terrifying and sad. So yeah. I'm on edge about that. I mean, yeah, it's being a bit on edge. It's just not, it's the fear of the unknown, and also like, how long does this really go on, and how much control do they have, and that kind of thing.
So I watched a Dr. Fauci video with Vice News that came out a couple of days ago, and it was interesting. And he was saying that, like, that essentially he could see us getting back to, some bit of normal by the end of 2021, assuming that at least 90% of people take the vaccine.
Oh my God. That's a lot of people. And also, guys, he said the end of 2021. Oh my God.
So he was saying, essentially, I'm trying to like explain this the best way. So he was saying this again. This is all just what I got from this video. Watch it on your own. Of course, it's we don't know what's going to happen when this vaccine becomes a thing and how it's going to be handled and given out. All that. But he was saying it would be given out to certain groups and categories, and it almost sounded like, depending on where you worked, was kind of how it sounded, whether it's start by certain groups of people. So let's say if you are a teacher, you'd probably be required to get it there or something like that. Or I get to always see like if you have kids going to school, they probably give it to those kids. Like it sounds like
healthcare workers are going to be the first.
Yeah, healthcare workers. Yeah. Like they're going to be giving it to certain people that I feel like are normally going to be in contact with other people to start, and then kind of go from there. Is what it sounded like.
I've heard though, because I've also heard about how they make like test it on communities first, and how not for nothing the Black community is a kind of community that they've tested on before.
Yeah,
I don't know too much about it, but that I mean, it doesn't sound that far fetched if you want to be real.
That's a conspiracy.
Which is the sad part.
That's a conspiracy. I don't see how that would happen.
Well, if we're talking about bringing it out in batches in like certain communities, it's almost
both communities. I don't know. You can't be like, yo, all Black people come here.
The lower income.
But you would have to find where they're at.
Okay, so for example, if you went to Bridgeport, like you'd go to certain areas.
So what? You'd say all the teachers in Bridgeport, assuming that they're Black?
No, I don't think they would do just teachers at that point. I think it would be communities.
Okay, well, I'm staying my Black butt home.
So
when they say all the people working from home, if my work is like, yo, we don't require you to get this, you can work from home, I'm doing it.
The thing that I worry about is having to prove that you got a vaccine for things like if you want to go to a concert in the future, movie theater, like all these different things. That's where this starts to become less of a free country.
Oh, did you?
That scares me.
You probably didn't, because knowing you. But the thing popped up on my phone for the COVID exposure thing.
I didn't get it yet.
Notification. And you can sign up. So Connecticut finally has it. Connecticut Department of Public Health. So essentially how it works is it just works off Bluetooth. So if I bump into anyone that hopefully has active on their phone and they turn out to be positive, they would be able to share their like diagnosis and notify anyone that they come in contact with. It would ping your phone saying, hey, you've come in contact with someone that was, COVID positive. You should get tested and quarantine, all that stuff.
So the likelihood, though, because you have to have enough people have that active on their phone, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's also not a foolproof way of knowing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of dumb people that don't know how to do it.
Or there's people who just don't want to activate it on their phone.
It's for your safety.
That's what they're claiming about the vaccine, too.
It's for your safety. You know what? I hate conspiracies, and that's why we're at where we're at. That's why people are going to Parler.
The vaccine stuff is not completely
I'm not talking about
based.
Vaccine. I'm just talking about getting a notification.
Right. No, but I'm just, like I was saying, I'm just anxious about that I feel like we become less of a free country if I have to prove that I got a vaccine to go in public places.
You have to do it already to go to school.
No, there's the religious exemption. I wonder if this is... I feel like they're going to say that you can't use that for this.
Okay, cool. You shouldn't.
Which, again, takes away your rights.
The virus doesn't care what religion you have.
See, this is where... It's funny, because this is where if I was talking to someone, I probably sound more right than left, because I'm talking about, like, the taking away our rights and stuff. Yeah. But, so that's why I feel like I can be somewhere in the middle, because I understand the worry of not wanting to not be how am I going to word this? The worry of wanting to still be free and have all those rights.
You're not free. You're given a number at birth. It's called your social security number.
I know. Isn't that something that's kind of like I don't know.
You're cattle. You just don't know it yet.
But that's my worry.
I'm not worried.
So when he says about 90% of people, I'm like, oh,
So,
honey.
when they want to
And the problem is, I work with people. I work directly with people. So it's like I'm in people's faces. I would be of those people of the
I'm gonna snitch on you.
crowd.
I'll be like, yo, she needs to get it. She works right in front of people's faces.
You better not.
Yo, when they give out chips to microchip everyone,
No.
I'll be like, yo,
no,
put it in, shoot it in.
You know, and I hate that you say that because that is one of the biggest conspiracies that you don't get the chip.
I mean, it's the future we're leading into. So
It's terrifying.
So they mark you with a number at birth, but in the future they're gonna mark you with a chip that has a number at birth.
All right, more reason for a home birth.
I mean, you still get Social Security at some point.
Yes, but you're not gonna get a chip if I give birth at home.
They'll probably figure out something.
Well,
They'll probably figure out.
see.
You gotta get your dog. Get your dog. You gotta get your kid. Tested. Come in here.
No.
You're
It's just like okay. For example, I never liked the idea of IUDs for birth control. A lot of people love them, swear by them. That's great. I don't like the idea of just something foreign getting stuck in my cervix for 5 years. And then it's like, what could that do? And there's a lot of stories of, like things going wrong with that because it's not a part of your body. Like it's a foreign object. And so I feel like putting a chip in me doesn't make sense. I wasn't born with it. Therefore, I don't need it.
You do it to dogs. You do it to other animals.
But that's in case they run away.
Okay.
Why is the government worried about me running away, huh?
Because he shouldn't be.
But exactly my point. So it's not free anymore, is it? See, exactly my point.
No, I just can't. I just wanted to pet you. I'm like, so naive. So naive, young one.
No, seriously. It doesn't make sense to me to just put all these foreign things in your body.
I mean, we do it anyways. Do you know the food we eat?
Yes, oh my God. But you know what I mean. That gets digested.
Okay,
If there's literally an item, like, okay, there's even another form of birth control. It's like the arm implant.
Okay.
And it's this little rod that you get put in there. And there's like all these stories about how it like fucking fuses to you.
Okay.
And so then they have problems removing it because you can't keep it there forever.
You don't want to be a robot? That sounds cool.
No, I don't.
Like, damn, we got a robot patch.
No. So I don't like the idea of that. So yeah, I'm a little worried about the future to come.
I'm not. Looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh.
So, on that note, we're going to hop to some relationship topic here because we're going to agree to disagree. And when those ships come around...
You're not getting one.
But when I can...
we will have children at that point, and they are more important than you getting a chip.
I mean, probably not. I'll be old. They'll probably be old or... Well, this is like a viable thing. I kind of give it like 10, 20 years.
How old do you think you're going to be in 10, 20 years?
I don't fucking know.
37, 47. That's not that old. You act like you're ancient.
All right. The fact is, if it can cure a lot of things, so I can unlock my car, I can check my phone in my brain, all that stuff, I'm down. So we're going to get into this relationship topic. This is about a 32-year-old female and a 35-year-old male. She says her husband did soy face in all of her wedding photos.
What does that mean?
I don't really know what soy face is.
Well,
I kind of feel like it's a sad face. I mean, what else would that be?
Is it like a sour face?
It seems so. God, maybe do
Oh God, is it like that weird excited face?
It's a relatively new face, soundless.
Oh no!
A cuck face? What the fuck?
It looks like a big weird grin with your mouth open.
A male equivalent of the duck face. Oh
no.
My
Oh,
God. He messed up the photos. So
Nope.
she goes on to say, because my husband is really active on Reddit, we had a small wedding recently outdoors, hired a photographer to take photos. In the photos, where we aren't looking at each other, My husband, unbeknownst to me, goddamn, smiling with his mouth open, extremely wide, pointing at me with finger guns. Not like he's going to shoot me, more like, look at her.
No.
It's sweet, but it really ruins the photos.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't know until the pictures come back. Goddamn, I'm messing this up. You're going to pick up where I left off here.
We have maybe 6 wedding photos that I would want anyone to see. Oh, that's frustrating. We spent $1,700 on the pics, and most of them are so embarrassing. My husband won't retake any of them and also wants our Christmas card to be one where he's making the face while tipping an invisible fedora. Ironically, I guess. He thinks it's funny and shows our personalities, but it really feels like it's making me out to be a chump because I'm smiling sincerely. Should I just go ahead and give up this time, or should I press further on the photos? It's not the first time he's done something like this in the past. I've kind of just allowed it, but this is our wedding. Oh, no. So, I mean, I'd be annoyed if it was literally all the wedding photos. I'm one of those that, like, sure, it's fun if there's candid photos. It's fun if you do, like, some of the silly ones. But I mean, yeah, if it's your wedding, chances are you want some that are just nice, you know, that are timeless, that are genuine smiles where you look like you love each other, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. And I'd be frustrated too. And then the unfortunate part is when she's like, oh, about retaking the pictures, that's frustrating because then it's not really retaking the pictures either because the wedding's only once, you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be the exact same. So the whole thing is kind of frustrating. And I mean, obviously, yeah, wedding photos cost an arm and a leg. They're so much more expensive than regular photos. So it's like, don't mess those up. And I know for like us, for example, like I was just looking through our wedding photos yesterday and like, you know, we have little, like, what are they? Photo books that have them in it. So that's nice. Like when we get our next house, I want to blow up a couple of the photos, like really nice, like on big canvases or something and put them on like kind of a picture wall type deal. So like, I'd want those to be nice, you know, like a funny one is good, but then I also want the nice ones, you know, not like all of them. And also the problem here is, I think the deeper issue is she's not finding it funny. It's not like we did like a silly pose, like we did a silly, hey, we're gonna do this or something, or like that it was a genuine, like we both were like laughing or something. It's like he was just doing this no matter what. Yeah. And that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's like, imagine if you got maybe like 100 photos of you guys together on the wedding day.
Which you should get more, by the way.
I'm
that's
just
crazy.
Taking a random guess. But to like, say you have, I'm just saying of them, because of course you're gonna have photos for other things.
Right.
And just to have 6 that come out of it that are actually good photos, like damn, like
that's
I get waste. For some photos, cool, but to like literally every single one.
Yeah, and I mean he's 35. Come on.
Oh, that's true.
Come on, you're not 20 getting married, like.
And it's
again, if it's both of your personality types, that's different. If you both literally acted like this and this is your normal, sure, but it's not. Like clearly, there's a difference here.
Yeah, and like. I feel like the wedding is for a lot of people like to say the wedding's for the girl, but I really feel like with you spending a lot of money and time to be put into this, it's for both people.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you really want to look back on this, 10, 20 years ago and be like, yo, these photos are funny? Or are you going to be like, that was stupid of me. I wish I had, more valuable photos of us.
Yep.
I'd be probably pretty mad.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see what people have said about this. Honestly, divorce. Oh man.
Okay, that's a little extra. Divorce the man-child trademark.
You sure he's 35 and not 15?
My husband is really active on Reddit. Of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah.
This is grounds for an annulment.
Yeah.
Time to order a new husband off Prime and send this one back instead. Amazon won't care. You could probably just keep the defect one too. Yeah, I mean...
I would... See, here's what I would do. It sucks because your husband's not down to retake it, even though he kind of fucked it up.
Which is kind of annoying. I'd be annoyed too. I'd be like, really? Because that's stupid, because we have your pictures. Let's get mine now.
Yes, I can't.
You know what I mean? It's not taking yours away.
I'm trying so hard to
use yours for something else.
I'm trying hard to like shoot this guy some bail in some way, but like it just doesn't. Like, at least do half and half.
And, like, for the, what would you say, the Christmas card? Like, come on. Like, chances are, like, for example, in this household, I'm the only one who cares about the Christmas cards. I'm the only one who cares what they look like and if they get sent out. So, it's like, I'm the one making the choice when it comes to, like, the photos we use. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, let her do that if that's how it is there, too. Mm-hmm. And then use your photos for, you know, your Facebook account or something. Like, put yours somewhere.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. That's my input.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm like looking at this this MAGA parade thing, and like people were making jokes on Twitter saying there's not even 1 million people there. Is that real? Is that really Trump Trump could have delivered a rousing speech to his followers at 1 million MAGA march, but instead he opted to drive through them so he could play golf.
If that doesn't just show you the priority.
My wife.
But y'all are out here with your hats and flags and everything.
God. Oh my God. Yo, if this division happens, I was thinking about this the other day. If this division keeps happening, guess what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna get a flag tattoo right on my shoulder. So whenever anyone wants to question me, like, yo, I love this country.
Oh my God, that's like what I do. So I have a lashes tattoo on my arm. And like, I'll always say to people, like when I'm doing their makeup, I'll be like, oh, lashes are my favorite part of the application. I'm like, see, that's why I have it tattooed on me. Like that kind of thing. That's what that reminds me of.
People are going to believe it.
Exactly.
Why would you get a tattoo of a flag on you?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to do that idea. That could save my life. You need to stop it, which is sad.
If they see it, problem is if they see you in this hoodie, like it takes 2 seconds to not save your life. All they're going to do is judge you on your skin color first. So you're going to have to put it on your hand or something. I'm being real.
I'll put it right on my ring finger. I'll put a flag right here.
I'm married to America. Don't get fooled. This ring is for America.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell my wife, though. You know.
What are you talking about? My wife is America.
Exactly. She loves everybody.
All right. We need to stop. Alrighty, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yo, I hope this audio sounds good. From what I can hear on the headphones, it sounds good.
I totally forgot I can do that.
Oh, that's right. You can fine tune emojis with your phone now that's not busted.
Yeah, I'm all excited. I'm playing with a new phone, guys. All right.
She's like, I just want to play on my phone. Can I see?
No, I'm updating it. It has an update.
Come here.
It has an update. Come here. All right, guys. We're going to hop off here. Please remember, we are looking for 2 more reviews on the iTunes store for our podcast. I said I wanted 5 total this year. That's the goal. Okay. Realistic goal. We're looking for 2 more reviews. So whoever's listening, please pop on. Just give us a nice little 5-star review. 5 stars. 5 stars. I haven't done that in a while.
Leave a review that we can read on the podcast. We will give you a shout out, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. With that being said, guys, we will catch you next week. Hopefully with some better news than just politics. With that being said, I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace out.